Hey, this is Melanie with Getting Personal with Christ podcast. And for the next couple of months, I will be focusing on the Eucharist and sitting down with friends and family to share their stories. This is to promote a musical I wrote with friends called Adore, the Eucharistic Revival musical production. Listen as we talk story. Hey, this is Melanie with Getting Personnel with Christ, and today I have a special guest with a collaboration with Adore the Musical, and my special guest is a good dear friend of mine. You know her from the Instagram Adore the Musical. It's Maryssa Wong, also known as your favorite Aunty Eva. Hi, Maryssa. Welcome to Getting Personnel with Christ.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, I have so many questions for you. Ready to hear all the answers that you have to give and all your input in everything that we do for school, for the play, and for just for God. And so we've been co-workers for a couple of years now, right?
Yes.
Yeah. When did you get to OGC?
I believe it was late February, early March of 2022.
Yes, and we work together during after school care. So we've had many times sitting down and talking and just making up ideas or coming up with ideas to, I feel like, to help ourselves to get closer to God, the kids to get closer to God,
yes,
and our coworkers to get closer to God.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Yeah, and she is a big help for me in this biggest project of my life, I believe, Adore the Musical. And so with that, Maryssa, how did God call you to become a part of this project, Adore the Musical?
Melanie actually kidnapped me, tied me up to a chair. No, I'm kidding. Well, when I first came to OGC in general, so this is a little bit of a backstory. I was in a place where I wasn't doing so good, I would say, mentally and spiritually. I was in a job I didn't like, and it was, we're coming off the ending of COVID and everything was starting to get back together. And I knew in my heart that I just didn't want to be where I was. And I wanted to be back here in a school setting, especially in a Catholic school. At that point in my life, I knew that I had to renew my faith and get closer to God. I was a cradle Catholic, as I learned, where you're born into a Catholic family, you go to Catholic school. I'm a student of OGC. You go to church, but it wasn't really a traditional Catholic upbringing, I would say. It was more of we only went to church on Christmas or Easter, and you just went to Sunday school classes just to go and get your sacraments done. It wasn't nothing like where, we're going to go every Sunday, we're going to pray together as a family before meals, things like that. So I was just looking online on these websites to try and find any sort of job opening that would get me away from where I was, away from that environment. It just so happened that I saw an opening for preschool, which I originally applied for. So I applied for that, and I didn't hear anything for several months. So I thought, okay, maybe that wasn't meant to be. We'll try again, find something else. And I get a phone call from Mrs. Luarca saying, hey, we have a opening for after school care. So I said, I'm interested. I'll come down for an interview. I came here, and it was just, I just felt a pull.
Interesting.
When I arrived, because I hadn't gone to mass in so long, especially with COVID. I hadn't been to our parish for so long. So just being here kind of gave me a chicken skin. And just walking around campus brought back a lot of old memories. So I went in for my interview, and at that time I was just honestly trying to just lay it on thick because I really wanted this job.
Nice.
And I was just like, giving it my best performance, honestly, just so I can, possibly get this job opportunity. And so I was offered the job, and a few days later, I was offered the first grade teacher's assistant position, which I happily took. And when I was driving home after that phone call, I just was just so joyful. And it was a kind of joy I haven't felt in a very long time. I was listening to some random worship songs, and this one song came on. It was Lord, I Lift Your Name on High.
Oh.
And I just started crying because,
Nice.
like I said, I was at a point in my life where I was strayed so far off the path of righteousness. So just knowing that, after all the things I've done that go against our faith, challenging God's existence, questioning if he's real or not, made me realize that even after all of that, God was always waiting for me with open arms, for me to come back, to forgive me for the things I've done, the things I've said, and lead me back to my faith. So when I got here, I kind of kept to myself a bit because, of course, for me personally, I was in a new environment. I didn't really know a lot of anyone or anything that was going on. So I just kind of kept a low profile, observed. And then I was introduced to Melanie. And at first it was just like, okay, she seems cool. But then she just has this natural warmth about her that you kind of just gravitate towards her. So eventually I started opening up here and there and asking her questions and telling her, I used to go to church, not anymore. And then she invited me to her Bible study classes, which were really excellent, by the way. If you have the opportunity, please attend her Bible study classes, her and Miss Johansson. It's very eye-opening. And I feel like that also helped because it helped me understand, obviously, the Bible more, which were things I didn't quite understand when I was going to school here and just attending classes. It's like you're just being taught it, right? So they took you on a more in-depth personal level of why this happened, why this occurred, why, things like that. And it made it easier for me to understand. And so just over time, I just continued to open up more, get closer to Melanie. And she opened up to me about this musical that she was writing. And it was...
Actually, you didn't know about it, right?
Wait, I didn't? Oh, no, well, she kind of... Okay, so, wait. Going back a little bit more, we grew to know each other more. And, she let me in. And then one day it wasn't Melanie, actually. It was Father who kind of spilled the beans, I suppose. It was just the two of us. It was the end of after school care. All the kids are gone. So we were just kind of talking story, just relaxing, decompressing from the day. And Father Santos comes over to talk to Melanie. And he's talking. I'm just like, I don't want to eavesdrop, but, I'm sitting right next to her. And then he looks at me and he goes, right? Do you agree? And who am I to... I kind of lied to Father because I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, but at the same time, I don't want to disagree with him. So I'm like, yes, exactly, Father. I agree. And he's like, and he walked away and I'm like, what was that about? And then, was that when you told me?
Yeah.
And that's when she finally told me about this special project she was working on. And at first I was like, oh, that's so cool. And, it's going to be great. Everything's going to be great. And and then I kind of left it at that because I didn't want to pry too much. And, if she was ready to tell me more, then I would just let her tell me more. And when she finally finished, you finished it?
Yeah.
She finished it. And I found out that it was going to be an actual, big production, I said, "Oh, I'm going to audition for church member who sits on the left-hand side." And we laughed about it, we joked about it, and then I don't know. Next thing you know, I'm auditioning for Auntie Eva, and regardless, I still have to go down and sing a song. And yeah, Melanie wrote me a note that I found on my desk with the script that said, "I think you'd be wonderful for Auntie Eva." So I just took it and we ran with it. And I told Melanie, whatever you need help with, I'll be there to help you.
And she has been such a great help.
Yeah.
She's the famous Auntie Eva. She's been helpful with all the social media. We've been getting things done, and it's been fun just hanging out and working together on this project like we have other projects before. And so, yeah, thank you, Maryssa.
Welcome.
Auntie Eva.
Your favorite Auntie Eva, by the way.
Oh, your favorite Auntie Eva. For all your help and, your support and love for what I do, and just for wanting to bring God closer to everybody. I think that's the big thing. Yeah. So when you heard God calling you, were you the type that was like, "Yes, sir, right away, sir"? Or were you the type that was like, "Oh, are you really calling me?" Or, what, is this what you really want me to do? Or, how were you when you got that call?
At first, I was like, "Okay, I'm just gonna help you. Whatever you need help with, I'll help you with." And then, so we went with it. And then maybe a little later down the road, he's like, "Do it, help her." And I'm like, "Yes, master."
Yes. Sometimes when I get called, I'm just like, "Are you sure?" But I'm glad that you said yes, master. Yeah.
He comes to me at the most interesting time. It's usually when I'm coming out of the shower. I guess that's because I do most of my deep thinking while I'm in the shower, thinking about the day and washing away the yuckiness of the day. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Yeah.
So your character is Auntie Eva. Are there any connections between Auntie Eva and yourself, or any in your as a character, or anything that you want to share with us?
This is very interesting. Well, at first I didn't quite see any similarities between myself and Auntie Eva. Auntie Eva, she's very, I feel like she's outspoken. She's very confident. Something that I really wasn't at first until I took on the task of running the social media page, and we came up with doing interviews and behind the scenes look where I'm utilizing the Auntie Eva persona. And you really have to be enthusiastic and out there because you are like kind of the face of that. And then surprisingly, I find out that the character Auntie Eva, who is based on Melanie's real auntie, was a classmate of my mom's in high school. And that story was kind of funny. It came about where I was trying to figure out what Auntie Eva should wear for the show. And, at the time I was like, I'm thinking in my brain that, okay, Auntie Eva, she's probably like in her late 30s, early 40s. She wears a muumuu or something, it's the 90s. And to my surprise, I find out she's a 20-year-old young woman who probably wore like very, like maybe, I don't know, cheetah print, leather.
Yeah.
The big hair from the 90s. So that was a shocker. And when I saw a picture of her auntie, I showed it to my mom and I was like, this is how I need to dress. I didn't know she was a young woman. And my mom goes, "I know her. I went to school with her." And what really got her was the eyes, those Pamplona eyes, those big eyes that stare into your soul. That's how she gets you. And then going back to the character as a whole, I feel like for me, Auntie Eva reminds me of Melanie. Auntie Eva is the one who's the driving force behind the whole story. I feel like if it wasn't for her, I don't think we would be here right now.
Yeah.
The story wouldn't exist without Auntie Eva. As I don't. Is this a spoiler alert?
No, we won't want to spoil it.
Okay, yeah. She was very helpful with the whole story, and I feel like I see Melanie in Auntie Eva in my life because Melanie has been such a wonderful friend and helping me to strengthen my faith in God, to get me back on track, and to just remind me that God is always walking beside me. And yeah.
So I'm your favorite Auntie Eva?
Yes, you're my favorite Auntie Eva.
That's great. Like, I hope that I am like Auntie Eva because, you know, she does play a big role into this play. And if you come, you'll figure it out. And,
definitely.
Yeah.
It's going to be fantastic.
yeah, and you better come see this Auntie Eva over here because she's going to be a great Auntie Eva. I know it.
I just hope I don't fall off the stage.
Okay. So, what would you like the audience to feel when encountering Auntie Eva? Like, what do you hope they take away?
Oh, that's a good question. I hope that people will realize there's, especially those who feel like they're alone, that they have no one to turn to, that there's always going to be someone in your life that you can turn to talk to, that will be there for you, to just listen, to uplift you, to remind you that, hey, God's there. He's always listening to your prayers, and you should never feel alone. And is that okay? I don't know.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Don't have to ask me. That's your answer.
Yeah.
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 I hope that with all the characters, you can get something out of it. You know, from the ones that have the little tiny parts.
I feel like everyone will be able to connect with every single character that they'll see and encounter, or be reminded of someone in their life from a character. Maybe like like Grandpa, they'll be reminded of their grandfather or someone special close to them, and just put a smile on their face.
Yeah.
Let's
encounter the most important one, who is
Jesus.
Yes. So this play was created in honor to honor the Eucharist and help people understand the true presence of Jesus in the Eucharist. So to ring into the National Eucharistic Revival, Father had asked for me to write this play. And since June 2022, that's when the Eucharistic Revival started. Since then, have you encountered or have you grown in your faith through the Eucharist?
Oh, definitely I have. I learned about the National Eucharistic Revival from one of our staff retreats. It's the second retreat we have of the year. It's like the last one, where they mentioned it. And at the time I was still in a place where I wasn't quite where I was in my faith yet. So to me, I was just like, oh, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And then they show us a video. Was it called Behind the Veil?
I think so.
Yes, where the gentleman goes to church. He sits down and they're getting ready to consecrate the bread and wine, and transubstantiation happens and becomes the body and blood of Jesus. And when it happens, the priest is holding the body and blood up for everyone to see, and all this beautiful, fantastic music plays, and the heavens open up, and these angels and saints come descending down, and Jesus is right there. And when I was just so in awe of that video, and I told myself that if I were to ever have the moment where I personally felt like that truly is the body and blood of Jesus, I want something like that to happen to me. So over time, it didn't happen, of course. So, but I knew for a fact that I had to continue to grow in my faith, continue to grow closer to God, and Melanie, you've been really helpful with that, and just she's so good at inviting people to sit at her table, where she's just surrounded by such a wonderful friend group who really want to serve you, to uplift you spiritually and mentally, to help you along on your spiritual journey. And, they've been so great at walking beside me. And it's because of them I was able to strengthen my faith, started to attend Mass more, do a bit of my own research on my own time, reading about our faith and the origins, and reading on saints and religious figures. And like I told Nelanie previously, when you're in this environment, when you're within the OLGC community, everybody is just so unashamed. Everybody is not afraid to say that they're Catholic, that they love God, that they believe in God. So I wanted to be on that level. So I continue to educate myself, continue to, on my journey, and start going to adoration, which I still need to do, but I've been going more. And
You went this Friday.
I did go this Friday. We are in the midst of a 54-day rosary novena. And my heart just feels so full, so fulfilled and lightened. And it truly is peaceful when you do it in adoration. Before that, I was kind of sitting in the closet in the class because I was on my break, and I would fight so hard not to fall asleep. But yes, and it's very cold in there, by the way. My toesies were chilly. I should bring a pair of socks in there. So yeah, I continue to grow in my faith, continue to build myself up, continue to surround myself with such God-fearing people. And on Palm Sunday of this year, I finally had my moment, I feel. So I went to Mass with my mom, my auntie, and my brother. We went to sit on the left side of the church, which is a place I've never sit before.
Oh, wait, I'm going to stop you there.
What?
Left side of the church, like the churchgoer you wanted to be? In the play?
Oh, the churchgoer who sits on the left-hand side. What another Godincidences.
Yeah.
This whole experience, there's been so many Godincidences that occur that makes the whole experience so much better. So yes, I was sitting on the left side, I can see the choir. And like I said, I normally don't sit there. And I felt like it was going to be a hard Mass for me personally because it was the last Mass my father attended before he passed. And I was more like, okay, don't cry, don't break down. But I didn't feel that. I was just sitting there with an open heart and knowing that I was just leaving everything in God's hands. That whatever happens, happens. So I was just sitting and listening and being present in the house of God. And when it was time for Father Santos and Deacon Jeff to raise the transubstantiated body and blood of Christ, it just clicked for me. It was a gust of wind blew, and it just, something inside me flipped, and I was like, oh my, I said a not nice word. I was like, oh my, it's actually the body and blood of Jesus. And it was such an amazing feeling, and it's a feeling I couldn't really explain. I was just so in awe, and I shared it with Melanie, and it was such an emotional night. And I asked her, who was I, to be able to feel that when there are so many other better Catholics, I feel like, out there who haven't experienced that yet. Oh, and I also shared it with Michelle Johansson, and they both told me it was because I was open to accepting God in my heart. That's why I was able to feel that in that moment. And it was so beautiful, and I was trying so hard not to cry. I was like, keep it together. And yeah, we went to dinner after Mass. Leha Bakery. So we went to dinner after Mass, and I texted Melanie and told her everything, and she was just so emotional. She was so happy. Did you call me? Did I call you?
No, I don't
remember.
think we just texted.
Yeah, we were just texting. Yeah, so that was, it. Like I said, it was such an amazing feeling. Because Jesus died for our sins. He's God's only begotten Son, and He is just the greatest kind of love you can feel, really, right? Someone so great who laid down his life for us so we can be forgiven and free of sin. And I pray more people will be able to feel that as well. And I really pray that this musical and this entire experience will help open up their hearts to accept Jesus in their hearts even more, so they too can feel what I felt that night.
And it's so funny because that week you interviewed me, and while you were interviewing me, I prayed, Lord, just help Maryssa feel the presence of you in the Eucharist. And I was like, oh my gosh, my prayers are answered. That's why I was so emotional. I even did a story on Instagram that it was something that incredible happened, and how God has really answered my prayers. And we just want everybody to adore Catholic teas.
Totally Catholic teas.
Totally Catholic teas, yes.
This isn't sponsored, but you should check them out.
Yes. So yeah, what a great way to start your Holy Week.
And it was my first full Holy Week celebration. Prior to that, I've only gone to either Palm Sunday Mass or Easter Sunday Mass. I've never had a full Holy Week. And it was such a wonderful experience. I was surrounded by so many amazing people who made the experience better. And I thank you for inviting me to join you folks.
Yes. Anytime anybody wants to go church with me, here's the invitation. Come join us. I will be at Mass whenever you want to be at Mass. I will come when you want to go. So.
Yes, there's been many times where I've asked Nalini to come to a certain Mass time with me. And she says, I'll be there.
Yeah, so just want to be hanging out with you and the coolest person ever, Jesus. So
Jesus is our homie.
Yeah, so anytime you want to invite somebody to go to Mass, go with them. Whenever they can, just go with them.
Yes.
And so with that, tell the listeners why they should buy tickets for Adore.
So you can come see me. No, I'm kidding. Well, to come see that the Eucharistic revival is going on, it's real, it's happening, and to experience what we have experienced, to feel the power of Jesus in the Eucharist, and to enjoy a heartwarming story and have fun. Of course, we like to have fun and see all the amazing and talented people in the cast who are a part of our OLGC, Ohana, and school and church community. I never realized how talented our community was.
Yes.
Until we came together and started planning this out. And I'm like, wow, you can sing, you can play music. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So it's just an experience. I feel like you folks just need to come to experience firsthand.
Yes.
The love of Jesus for you and for everyone else.
Yes. Great. So come. You can come get your tickets at eventbrite.com. Just search up Adore the Eucharistic Revival musical production.
Yes. And you can also follow the Instagram page where we also have links that'll take you directly to the Eventbrite page and the 4 shows.
Yes,
4 shows that we have. And it'll also take you to the YouTube channel and
our school website.
Yes, our school website.
Check out
where
our
you can find the information is out there everywhere for all to see.
Yes.
Yes.
And so I'd like to thank you, Miss Wong, also known as our
Your
favorite
Aunty Eva.
And so we'll see you at the shows, and go light up the world with his love. Thanks. Bye.
I'm like, don't glitch.